If you're anything like me and you like to find setups that traders are sleeping on, then this video you're going to want to pay attention to because I'm going to explain to you and break down how JD has been quietly building up a powerful setup, and we believe that it's ready for a breakout run. But before I get into that breakdown, I want to just give you a quick update on the year-to-date performance on the main fund account. Did take a little bit of a hit. I'm near the 85% year-to-date performance, but nonetheless, wonderful year. We actually ended September pretty strongly, and I'm really, really happy with that. And everybody in the private Telegram group has been making money. Very, very happy about that. And let's go into the quick community tab here because somebody left me a couple questions here. They said, when will SMCI return back to 60 again? I'm very worried. Do you feel by the end of this year? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know when price. They're referring to the recent video that I made about SMCI stock, which has been exploding. And I believe if we actually take a look at it, where is it at? We're currently at $52, and when we got into this trade at $47, so it has been exploding here. When will it get back to 60? That I do not know. But what I can say is that as of right now, SMCI does have a bullish market structure here on the weekly time frame, which I really, really like. And I believe, there could be more upside. But when that will happen, maybe in the, I don't know, just be more long term about it, maybe 3 to 6 months, which is a nice segue to the next trade that I'm looking at, which is JD. And I want to break this one down because this has been quietly building, again, a powerful setup that you do not want to miss out on, okay? I want to show you here first this weekly time frame, which is, again, just basic market structure, very, very bullish, right? Higher lows, higher highs, and right now it hasn't made a new low here. So the structure is still bullish. And what we're trying to capture inside the private Telegram group, that again, if you want to link to, there'll be one in the description box, is to try and capture this next expansion to the upside, which would put us somewhere around 45 to $50. That's kind of the area that we would ideally like to be at. Will we get there? Maybe, I don't know. But what we are doing is grabbing a leap contract here to give it, well, maybe not a leap, but it's a March 2026 contract. And I believe we got the $45 call for March 2026 to give us enough time and enough time so we can get to these kind of levels. Now, as much as I would love to hit those levels here in the next 3 to 4 months, we actually have to use Gextron to figure that out, because Gextron actually has models that tells us what is actually possible every single day by, based on the option premium pricing. So Gextron is a tool that we use to figure that out. Really, it does all the heavy lifting for us. I don't have to do any hard work, but just look at the numbers here. And so as of right now, the first thing we do to figure out these levels, which you should be marking these levels if you want to trade this as well too. And I'm just going to zoom in here to the smaller time frame, and I'm actually going to remove this line here to make it clean. Is I'm going to break down the entry that we got in, what's in the way, and what is possible that we're actually looking at for the end of the year target here. So right here, I have this line here, 35, 36, 37, and 40. These purple lines represent resistance. Big resistance is the MR, which is at 40 as of right now. And if we take a look at Gextron, you can see here, 40 is the tallest positive bar here. But one important level here that when we got in was actually around the 35 marker. Okay, you can see here, 35 here is what we call P-trans level. P-trans in Gextron tells us, when is this stock going to a bullish or call dominated environment? So where it starts to become very stable and it's adding liquidity to go up higher and higher. In Gextron, it's really, really simple. It's the first positive bar, and the next 3 bars to the right have to be positive. So in this case, 35 is the first positive bar. Then we have 1, 2, 3 positive bars. Perfect. 35 is P-trans, and that's when we got in. And because we saw price was holding around it and slightly above it, we got into the calls, which we are now positive on these option calls. Okay. Now, with that said, now that we know what support and resistance levels we have and what the entry is, I need to figure out price targets. And this is where, again, Gastron does all the heavy lifting for us. We don't have to do anything. And again, everything is forward looking and always updating throughout the market hours. So as more contracts are being, there's more transactions coming into us to a given security, in this case, JD, it's going to recalculate the price target, the P-trans level, the levels of resistance and support. And that's really, really important because the only time we get out of this trade is when P-trans, it gets invalidated. So right now, today could be 35, tomorrow it could be 36. Maybe a week from now, it could be 37, right? And if price is below P-trans, we get out of that trade. And that's what helps us, again, get these kind of results where we keep our losses extremely small and our winners bigger. We let our winners run as hard as they possibly can. And the weak ones, we cut them off quickly. And the way we do that, again, is with figuring out where's P-trans at? Did we lose P-trans? Do I need to get out of it early? And so on and so on. Everything is about risk versus reward in this game. Now, I'm going to go to the pro dashboard here, which you got to have a pro membership account to be able to see this dashboard here. And what you'll see here is a lot of stuff, a lot of equity tape, option tape, unusual option flow. But there's one specific tab here that I like a lot called price targets. And so there's two types of price targets that I like to mark on JD. One being the quarterly price target to the top side because we are above P-trans, we're bullish. I want to know what that possible top side is, which the way that we do that is that we figure out when is the next earnings date, which is in this case, November 13th. And all I have to do is go to an expiration that is either that's closest to that expiration date. I'm not going to pick November 21st because that's after earnings, but I will pick November 7th because that is just a week before earnings. So in this case, it's 41.44 as a price target. And I believe I marked that. I might have to update that. Okay, I said 40.95. I'm going to update this because I have an outdated one. So this is where JD can possibly go by earnings date, which is November 7th, which is just literally 37 days out in expiration. And the next target I like to know is the end of the year target. Now you could pick the December price target, or I like to pick the January going into the year in that first expiration into January 2026 is telling us that the top price target and the bottom is 28.23, but the top is 44.35. Okay. And I believe right now I have 43.84. Okay, so 44.30. So it's a little bit higher, but I'm going to stick with this one because that's what I originally had marked. And so the goal here is very, very simple. If JD is above P-trans, I'm going to aim for the quarterly and the end of the year target. This is where I'm going to be taking some profits and maybe start trimming just a small portion at the 40 area because that is the biggest level of resistance. So I don't want to face a rejection there that can possibly send us back all the way to 37. So I'll just end up trimming some portion there and start setting a trailing stop loss. Now, with that being said, here is the important part about this entire setup. Like I said before, it's always about risk versus reward ratio. And in this case, we have about a 15.9 risk reward ratio from when we originally got in. So again, a high risk reward ratio does not mean high risk, high reward. It actually means low risk, high reward. So I'm willing to lose about 1.46% on the stock movement, which is 52 cents on the downside, but I'm aiming for a 23.28% move to the upside on the stock, which is about $8.27 to the upside. Now, with that said, this is a great final runner target, but if I'm going to take some profit here on the excuse me, on the quarterly price target, that's going to be an 11, and 40 is going to be an 8. So like I always say, and I preach in all these videos, and I preach it to my Telegram members and in the community members in school, is that a minimum of 3 is what makes a solid, is the minimum risk reward ratio you want to aim for if you want to win less, but have like not be so stressed out. You can have a low win rate, but still be very profitable by the end of the year. And this has come to be true again because I have been able to sustain this 80% year-to-date performance following the same risk-reward ratio rules, right? But this comes into play too. You got to make sure you have good risk sizing management. Otherwise this wouldn't work at all. You can blow up an account. So that's it. That's JD in a nutshell. It is one to keep an eye out. Don't sleep on it. Put these levels on your chart. If you want to stay updated with the levels and want access to Gextron, join the link in the school community because I'm sending them invites only. It's not just like you could sign up. It's based on invite code only. And just let me know that you want an invite. If you want to trade with me and my team inside the Telegram group, there'll be a link in there too. And if you have any other questions about JD or any other stock, put them in the comments down below and I will answer them in the next video. Peace.